it is catalogued that they are there to disrupt elections.
There are substantial disinformation campaigns.
Right, trust your instincts.
It can lead people to not protect themselves and their family.
Disinformation campaigns around the world are there for a number of reasons. It is catalogued that they are there to disrupt elections. And to disrupt elections, it doesn't actually have to be very direct. So if you cause division between people, or if you can change someone's mind on one tiny thing that might make them vote differently, you can push an election.
There are disinformation campaigns, and I've been having some interesting conversations with colleagues along these sorts of lines, because there's definitely active people intentionally spreading disinformation as part of campaigns with some goal in mind. And a lot of that has to do with electoral politics right now.
So it's not about, a disinformation campaign might not be about big ticket issues, but it might just be about that one issue that would tip one person in a key place in order to do it. And that's the level of granularity and precision that some of these campaigns are aimed at. They're also more broadly aimed at undermining certain aspects of everyday life, because that also serves that purpose. If there's division and divisiveness and unrest, then if you're a foreign power, you can point to that as a good example of why something's not working somewhere.
Our intelligence agencies came to the conclusion that the Russians manipulated information flow in the last election, the 2016 election. There's evidence that they are actively engaged in that again.
If you're talking about social media, someone without a photo of themselves who are making outrageous claims or looking like they're stirring trouble, there's a good chance that they might not be legitimate. The same techniques and tactics are used in different places all over the world. And one of the parts of my job is to work on elections all around the world. And we learn from the previous election to take those lessons into the next one, wherever it might be, because actually the symptoms and the problems are remarkably similar. Just to put it in context, I did some work in Sweden. They have a very trusted election system, no problems at all. They said nothing was going to be going wrong until we started looking. And we found things that we found in all places.
I don't think that conservatives or liberals are any more at risk of being victims of misinformation. This is just a basic human process. All of us are susceptible. All of us, you, me, every single person who sees this. The fact that there seems to be more of misinformation and disinformation campaigns on one side at this point is just reflecting the nature of the political wheel at the moment. There's other disinformation campaigns about how serious COVID-19 is. There's a current one out about only 6% of the COVID deaths are actually COVID deaths. And that's a serious false bit. It's actually a serious disinformation campaign. Many death certificates associated with COVID-19 note that people had underlying health issues or other problems when they died. But COVID is what killed them. And the goal of sort of decreasing the deaths to make it look less hazardous is really problematic, because it can lead people to not protect themselves and their family. And so it's really important to protect yourselves when we're looking at these sorts of things. And so, it feels to me that when we talk about disinformation campaigns, it's useful to consider some that are currently floating around and to dismiss them, so that the people who are originally promoting it know that they're playing a game to try and change people's attitudes and change their behaviors. So the COVID-19 death rate stuff is a disinformation campaign. They're relying upon actual CDC data about the underlying issues that people had when they died of COVID. And those things are important for epidemiological reasons to know what are the risk factors for people if they catch COVID. So there's some truth there, right? But then they twist it in a way to make it look like it's less risky. And then a lot of people are adding in a nice little conspiracy theory, twist at the tail end of that by pointing out that hospitals get paid more if it's a COVID death. And thus, they're just falsely reporting the data, don't you think? Well, actually, they get paid more because COVID cases are actually freaking complex, and they cost more. And so it's appropriate. But notice that they take a little bit of truth, they spin it in a way, they twist it around, they turn it into conspiracy theory, all with a goal. And there's a goal for a disinformation campaign of getting you to believe that this is less risky, less problematic, it's safe, you're fine, and there's a political motive there. So that's an example of a really sort of a classic disinformation campaign that is playing out now.